Change of route by landlocked trading partners will force a number of Kenyan oil marketing companies and logistic firms to close shop. Of course, this leads to job losses, loss of foreign exchange, loss of revenue for the country as a result of KPC losing transit share. Ideally, Kenya should have provided a pipeline and storage capacity allocation for Uganda market. Kenya should also have allowed the direct participation of the Uganda oil marketers in sourcing petroleum products through the Northern Corridor route. But because corruption was written into the deal, the Ruto administration could not allow neighbors in fear of exposure. Consequently, the KPC is set to lose substantial business to Tanzania. Uganda's shift to the Central Corridor will most certainly influence Rwanda, Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, and South Sudan. As KPC loses business, it will charge more for its product to stay afloat, hence the ever-rising cost of petroleum products. The deal only ended up creating irregular supplies and higher prices. Open tender system allowed for competitive sourcing of fuel. Monopolistic tendencies for purposes of maximizing profit goes against the demand for efficiency and the need for lower prices. It is going to drive a number of oil marketing firms out of business, leading to job losses and loss of revenue for the government. The deal that Ruto signed with the oil companies has excessively high freights and premiums compared to those witnessed in the open tender systems. They are as high as an additional $50 per metric ton. In the end, Kenya is losing billions of shillings in taxes because the three companies picked to spearhead this deal do not pay the 30% corporate tax. Shielding the three companies from this tax is the reason Ruto told Kenyans that it was a G2G deal. Your guess is as good as mine on who is pocketing the unpaid corporate tax. But the burden of the unpaid corporate tax is passed to Kenyans at the pump. Now, ladies and gentlemen, our stand as Azimio. 1. Ruto must immediately cancel the contract and revert to the open tender system, which ensured guaranteed supply of petroleum products. It has assigned responsibility to various players as opposed to the so-called G2G that is making Kenyans depend on inefficient and corrupt players. The open tender system was efficient, accountable, and competitive, and offered prices commensurate with international pricing model. 2. The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission needs to move in, not to sanitize, but to get to the bottom of how and why we got into this deal and who is benefiting from it. 3. The men and women who came up with this self-serving deal must be surcharged and sacked. 4. The government must restore taxes to 8% from the 16% that came with the Finance Act. 5. The government must make public the so-called MOU between Kenya and Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. 6. The Ministry of Energy and Petroleum must make public the deal is signed with oil companies. 7. The Ministry of Energy and Petroleum must make public the supplier purchase agreement it signed with the oil companies. 8. The EACC and the Director of Criminal Investigations must investigate the tax compliance status and pricing model with the 3 oil companies. 9. We need a comprehensive brief on what the move by Uganda to pursue much of its petroleum needs through the Tanzanian Central Corridor means to our country, especially to the future of the Kenya Pipeline Company. End of statement.